Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 16, Episode 17.
The finale. Do you know what was sad about this episode, Blair?
What?
Because the trailer came out for the reunion, I thought this was the part one of the reunion.
Oh.
So I was like, is this a flashback? What's going on with the season? Subscribe, like, share, comment. Listen here, guys. We are so close to 8,000 subscribers. I remember when we used to average 4 subscribers.
Yes.
Now look at us, and we have you to thank. Thank y'all for following. Blair, you ready to walk us through the season?
I'm ready.
The season finale. Thank you. Let's go.
So Lauren, Porsha, and Phaedra meet up at Phaedra's house. Lauren apparently was on the phone when Londi passed. Phaedra is assisting with the home going for Londi, and Phaedra recommends that they do a butterfly release since she loved butterflies.
Yeah. Prayers to the family. Even still, I know this was filmed months ago and things like that. But prayers to the family.
Yeah, that's tough. That's really tough, especially for Lauren to have been on the phone. I can't imagine what she was probably feeling like. Mm-hmm. So Angela meets up with her therapist, her and Charles' therapist.
Yeah.
She needs advice. She needed advice on how to deal with her husband and his lifestyle, and that's pretty much how they found her. She helped them stay married through everything that they have been through. Mm-hmm. So Angela is really feeling like she wants to get rid of these properties. It's too much, and she's constantly asking Charles to put more money into them, and he's done with it. He doesn't want to.
Yeah.
She brings up the guy who approached her at the event about Charles cheating. Angela trusts Charles, and she feels like he's proven that he can be trusted at this point. Mm-hmm. They do touch on the fact that sometimes he wakes up at night feeling like he's going to be targeted, but Angela shuts that conversation down. I think that was probably a little too real.
Hey. Mm-hmm. We filming a show here. I'm only want to give you some fake issues to talk about. Don't talk about the real issues. Mm-hmm. But there's one issue I want to talk about, especially since this is a husband and wife show. Yeah. Angela says something that I know as a man I probably would resent if I was to talk about my flaws and things like that, the little that they are. She says something across the lines of when she was asking Charles for more money to pump into the houses and things of that nature. He told her no. And she felt bad and she regretted going against her husband. That is what she said verbatim. Oh. She said, because Charles told me not to do it, and I went against him, right? And I'm like, ooh, man, if I was Charles, I don't even know if I can come back from that, if I was to be honest, right? Because I'm the type of person to where if you're with me, you're with me. The minute that you show yourself to be against me, right? That's something that is hard for me personally to digest. I think there's a difference between us having a disagreement with something, but something across the lines to where her words, she said, I went against my husband, right? And I'm like, oh, now y'all issues is much, much deeper. And I think we are going to see that near the end of the episode and things like that, how they communicate when Angela wants to be in charge and she want to run things and things like that. And she said, trust me. And Charles said, I don't trust you and things like that. I think that's the underlier and maybe that is the foundation of their relationship right now, is that he don't really trust her. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Because her track record hasn't proven to be trusted in his eyes.
I think that at least, okay, so I'm going to talk about my belief when it comes to marriage is that you guys move as a unit. Okay. And I am someone who is of the belief, like, the husband is like the head of the family. But I also believe you choose a husband who you trust to lead you, and you choose a husband who has both of your best interests at heart, who wants to see you reach all the goals and dreams that you have for yourself. Yeah. So I feel like if you marry somebody who is all of those things, because that's the type of man you should be marrying, that he's not going to tell you no to something in an effort to dim your light or so that you don't reach any of your dreams. He's telling you no in an effort to protect what it is that you guys have going on at the moment. And it's not a bad thing to have a no or a maybe later. So that's kind of my perspective. I think that when it comes on to Charles and Angela, there's a lot of distrust in their relationship, period, because of the infidelity.
Exactly.
And within their relationship and him having to drop the extra women and taking forever to do it. And I think that when you get into a space of being individuals in a marriage, then no, I'm not listening to what you have to say or what you think I should be doing or where you think I should be investing, because you don't look out for me. And I'm doing this to look out for me and my future. And if it works out, great. If not, it is what it is, but you don't get to determine what I think is best for me. Yeah. And I feel like you move out of that unit mentality when people start operating as individuals.
Facts. And guess what?
And that's why I say, like, even though Angela like went against her husband, so to say, like, I can understand her doing that because he wasn't looking out for her, and she had to look out for herself.
100%. Well, 99.9%.
Yeah.
Let me keep the 0.1% for myself. The only reason why, if you're going to look out for yourself, then going by your theory and things of that nature, then fully look after yourself. Don't make me a financial partner to you looking out for yourself. Because Charles is the reason why she's got into this whole business in the first place. Because whenever she needs money or fall behind with money, she go to Charles for money. So if you're going to look for yourself or look after yourself, then fully look after yourself. But I think the point that you made right then and there is, hey, because of the infidelity, there is something across the lines, even if it's unspoken, to, hey, you owe me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, if I want to get into real estate, okay, I know it's a bad investment. I don't care. I want to do it because I want to do it. And Charles can really be looking out for her in the moment. But if you proven yourself throughout the relationship to really not look out for her best interest and only look for your best interest, it will be hard for her to trust you 100%. But I did feel it when she said she went against her husband and she did not like how that made her feel, and she regrets that.
Yeah. So Shamea has a performance. Drew said Shamea had trouble hitting some notes.
She did.
But Angela, after the performance, Angela tells the ladies that she's having a gala. The goal is to feed 100,000 children. And Kelly asked for a link so that way, she can post it online. And Drew asked her how many followers she has. And she says she has 150,000. And Brit says a fake follower. She got 80K followers in one day.
Okay.
Kelly's
Brit.
like, well, you really are stalking me, aren't you? And she says, well, just let us know how much to give because apparently some of us don't know.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Do not bring your paper towels. I really wish this housewife to singer pipeline stops because Shamea, she's not a good enough singer to be an artist. Sorry. Right? I'm in music. You get what I'm saying? So even when she was singing and things like that before she started singing T-shirt on, it was the vocal from the track. Like, it wasn't her live voice. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, hey, listen, I understand Shamea's rich enough to where she like, you know what? I'm going to throw my own concert and things like that. And that's what they said. It basically was a concert. But Shamea, for all the shade that you were throwing at Drew, and I don't even think Drew is one of the best singers, but all the shade that you were throwing at Drew throughout this whole season, for you to come out there and try to hit some high notes that you shouldn't have been hitting, I don't really understand what's going on with that.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like it was just kind of like a showcase, honestly. It kind of felt like a little kid showcase, I'm not going to lie. It's just kind of like we got my friends and family here just to watch me do my thing. But I honestly feel like if that's something that she wants and she wants to pursue, then she's going to have to get her reps in when it comes to performing, trying to get her voice right, all those different types of things. So I think we're just seeing the beginning of her journey with that. And then when it comes to Kelly and Brit's back and forth, I thought it was a pretty funny back and forth because Kelly, you might have bought some followers, but Brit also, you don't be knowing what to give. So it was just a funny tit for tat to me.
Y'all both just sit down and enjoy the show.
Now we get Brit and Shamea talking. Brit told Porsha that Shamea was talking mess about her, sending texts, showing her some text messages. And Brit says, you did show me text messages and you did say that she wasn't your friend. And she's referencing the time that she went out with Kelly and Shamea and Brit. Shamea says that Brit's lying. She never showed her any text messages, and maybe Brit is jealous of Kelly getting close with her. Shamea tells her, you took shots, you got butt naked. And Brit asks, did you see your daughter when you came back from Miami? You're lying about what your daughter's going through. And Shamea says, at least I'm not a pill popper.
She said, don't talk about my daughter. What is your thoughts on this?
Okay, yeah. So this is the conversation, I believe, where Shamea says she couldn't mess with Brit anymore because she talked about her child. And this is always the thing, right, with these shows is, are you talking about the child or are you talking about the parenting? And I was like looking at something, and apparently Shamea and Kelly went to Miami after Grenada, and she didn't go straight home to her baby that was sick. So I think that's like more information behind the scenes of what Brit is talking about.
So Brit trying to drop mystery nuggets and things like that, basically giving us a little insight without some insight.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think that when you're somebody who goes super low, like, you're going to put yourself in a bad position. So it's best just to not mention the child at all, because what does that even have to do with their argument? So I thought it was in poor taste, but I don't necessarily think she was talking about the child. But it did rub me the wrong way when she said you're lying about what your daughter's going through. Yeah. Like, clearly we can see, like, she has developmental issues and there are things that they're trying to work through. So I felt like that was just really nasty.
Even if she didn't have a cold, like, if she had a cold, that's the least of their worries. You get what I'm saying? With everything that they're going through. You said what was the point of the argument when she brought the kid into it? Yeah. My whole point is, what was the point of the argument in general? Like, Brit was looking for an issue. The whole bringing up the whole Porsha thing and the friendship and the text messages. I'm like, where did that even fit in? It just seemed like it just came out of left field and you just wanted a something to poke at and things of that nature, right? The whole scene with Shamea and Porsha thing already happened. The whole text messages and things like that already happened. It felt like it happened a season ago. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So to bring it up, I understand, like, what do you talk about? Hey, I may have talked to somebody else, but I definitely didn't show you text messages. Tomato, whatever, right? Yeah. Bringing up the kid, though, the minute that you say your kid or your son or your daughter, they don't even hear what you got to say after that. No. Because at the end of the day, why are you bringing up my kid? Yeah. Right? And I can understand that 100%. Now, if it is true that you went to Miami right after Grenada and things like that, maybe like, Miami is where y'all landed and you spent a couple days there, I will go back to my question of the whole, what is the relationship between you and Gerald? You get what I'm saying? For the type of crying that you was doing, and mind you, I'm just going off of allegedly. The type of crying that Shamea was doing, it sounded like you wanted to get on a plane immediately. Do you get what I'm saying? But it seemed like that cry was not only about her daughter, maybe just the status of just, the burden of being, working again, and now that you're working, everybody don't want you to work. You get what I'm saying? Maybe Shamea is going through a lot of things, but the more we dig into the story, and truth be told, I don't really care to dig into the story no more because it's so like pieces are everywhere. I don't understand why the baby was cold in the first place. I honestly don't, right? The more I heard, the more we talk about it, the more information comes out. Okay, I thought Gerald found the baby. No, the mother found the baby. Okay, the nurse did this. Oh, the nurse was cold too. It's like, oh, the whole side of the house is cold. Why? Like it just doesn't make no sense to me. So it's like, you know what? I don't care. Yeah.
So we see a compilation of what the ladies are doing, and I thought this was stupid, so I figured why not talk about it.
Why not?
Brit and her husband are going plane shopping. Did she even get the car that they went car shopping for?
No.
So I know they didn't get no doggone plane. And the thing is, if they went and got a plane, that's great, but I'm just like, I can't stand the stunting. Like, it's just not real.
It's not stunning. It's you can't even, you want to go get a plane, but you can't even be, what's the word, mature enough to put, wrapping paper in the boxes where you gift people things. You just give me naked boxes with like freaking shapewear. Yeah. And don't even notice. So that's why I'm like, going plane shopping, going car shopping. You just going shopping. You're just the housewife, I guess. And then on top of that, like the whole idea of you coming with 3 paper towels would never leave my head. Like, you can't do that 5 episodes ago, and then next thing you know, you going plane shopping. For what? What is it about your life that you need a plane?
For real, where are you going?
Exactly. So
what business dealings do you have to do?
I don't know.
I really don't know. Yeah. So Kelly is behind on the new restaurant location. She also doesn't want the new restaurant to be roped into her marriage assets, so she's allowing it to take a little bit of time for it to come through. And I feel like that's smart. I mean, don't open up a whole new restaurant and then this man got claimed to half. So
Kelly, you are now about to play the role. Brit, here's the thing about Brit, right? When you're crazy, and we know you as crazy, when you speak the truth, we won't believe you. We would just automatically dismiss you. Brit is going to be, if she stays on this housewife train, she is going to be the one that's going to have businesses after businesses after businesses after businesses, because she's going to keep having debt on top of debt on top of debt on top of debt. I honestly, truth be told, I don't know nothing about restaurants outside that it could be a money pit, and I would think that the biggest money pit in Atlanta, at least, is chicken and waffles. They have chicken and waffles as much as they got liquor stores. You get what I'm saying? And then on top of that, your chicken and waffles wasn't even better than Charles. So it's like,
well, I mean, I don't want to down the business because it's been around for a while now.
And listen, it's the same way as Kenya says she's having a hard time keeping her doors open and things of that nature.
It's different,
but I think it's almost the same.
It is not almost the same.
How?
Because from what I've seen with Kenya, it's not like she has a lot of stylists to do people's hair, and it's not like she remains open for a long period of time. I mean, Kelly's business has been around for a little bit. I will say, they saying she funny with the money when it comes to paying people.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'm saying, like, the business has been around.
The business could be around, but my thing is, getting into the restaurant business, it could be a money pit.
It can,
especially when it's chicken and waffles, right? One thing, and the reason why I compare them to be the same is, hey, Kenya, you open up a hair place or hair spa place or whatever in Atlanta. Like, Atlanta is one of the places where it's like a stylist everywhere. What makes you stand out with that? Besides, it's Kenya's spot. You get what I'm saying? Unless Kenya go be the one doing everybody's head, I don't see what's special about that. So that's why I'm like, that could be a money pit. The same way as chicken and waffles in Atlanta. What's special about that?
Yeah.
That could be a money pit. Like, so that's why I'm like, I think potentially Kelly can run the risk of starting these other businesses because you may be robbing Peter to pay Paul, in my opinion. And then on top of that, I'm using the information that we know that, hey, she's mad that Brit got her stylist and got her team. But as far as we know, Brit be paying. And Kelly be late with the payments.
Allegedly.
So that's why I'm like, I don't know. I wouldn't open up a chicken and waffle spot in Atlanta.
So Ralph and Drew have a conversation, and they talk about how they have to work on their co-parenting agreements. The court has made it so he can't see his kids during the week, but Drew tells him that he can always ask permission to see his kids. She's not going to stop him from being involved in his kids' lives.
This is one of the reasons why I was calling Drew a liar in the beginning, or basically maybe liar is too strong, but maybe liar just fits. This is going to be a divorce that never happens, y'all. I'm giving y'all the heads up of what I believe is going to happen. Like I said, Drew been telling us, oh my goodness, it's so bad between me and Ralph. It's so bad between me and Ralph and things like that. And then what do we see on Memorial Day? She literally eating out of his hand, right? Now, all of a sudden, like, now he's in the basement. Oh, now in the finale or whatever, hey, can I come upstairs? Out of all the times, oh yeah, of course you would come upstairs. No one's stopping you from coming upstairs and things like that. Throughout the season, we heard about how he's banished to the basement. Throughout the season, we heard about how he changed the keypad to like the door. Throughout the season, all these things and things of that nature. And now they having a civilized conversation that they could have had from the beginning, but whole time they arguing about pest control. I'm like, okay, sure. But now all of a sudden we're having a come to Jesus moment, because I think this is just going to be a divorce that's always going to be in the air, and basically I don't think it's ever going to happen, in my opinion. I think we're going to see some type of reconciliation on both parts, and they just go be married.
And I will say, for the people who have the critique that it's a real divorce, they're going to court, it's, you can pull it up, it's public record. We know all that. Okay?
Yeah, of course.
But you would be surprised the lengths that people will go in order to keep an income afloat. So that's the point that I see when you make that. I'm just kind of like, yeah, it could be real document wise, but it may not be real as far as them getting it done.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's like, you know what? I want to keep this job. I need a storyline. I'm going to do this. If Brit could go plane shopping, people could be fake divorcing. Yeah. It's just how I think.
So Phaedra ended up inviting Shaq to go on a date. Of course, we were introduced to Shaq on Married to Medicine, so she's still talking to him.
Phaedra, stop it. I don't care.
So Brit has her family over. Apparently her mom did move in with her, and she says that she's always extending herself and she wants people to come together for her. I was so turned off by that, and maybe I'm just annoyed by Brit at this point.
You are.
But I was really turned off by that, because you're having your family to come together. This is the first time they're all actually getting to meet each other, because they didn't have like an actual wedding ceremony, and they do tell everyone that they do plan on having a ceremony for them all to celebrate. But it's just always woe is me with Brit. It's just like, yes, like we're all coming and people are coming out to the house, but why is it always tinged with, I always do stuff for people and now I need people to come together for me? It's just like,
because it's never out of the kindness of a heart. It's
that's what it is.
It's never
that's what it is.
It's never out of the kindness of a heart. So like, it's the whole idea of like, I moved my family in, then how did this turn up to a, hey, y'all need to show up for me more?
Yeah.
Like and that's why I'm like, either way, even without the lawsuits, even without the Kenya stuff, truth be told, if that was to never happen, I wouldn't have seen it for Brit anyway to be a housewife next season.
So we get to the gala. The fundraising goal is $50K.
Yeah.
Drew and Angela ended up meeting with Marcus, and they caught him in his lies. During that time, Charles was apparently coaching in the Big Three, and Angela asked him straight up, "Who put you up to this?" Apparently, it was Phaedra. That's what he says. Brit tells Phaedra that Shamea is mad at her now. She tells Porsha that Shamea is mad at her now because of the conversation that they had with Porsha and Cynthia. Apparently, and which was really nice during the ceremony, is they honor different leaders in the community who have served through different various foundations. They have the lady from Meals on Wheels, a lady from Purse Foundation, and they also honor Porsha and Londi for the work that they've done through her grandfather's foundation. So I thought that was really nice. Porsha starts tearing up a bit, and she goes to the bathroom, and the ladies all follow her there to console her. And we learned they ended up raising $107,000. So that was huge. It was a very successful event.
How do y'all raise $107,000 on Real Housewives of Atlanta, but Married to Madison couldn't raise even $50,000 for like their little Met Gala with doctors in the room? You get what I'm saying? Like, it was just weird. One thing I thought was weird with the whole, like, I guess the rebirthing of the whole Porsha versus Shamea thing was Shamea was there basically telling us in the confessional that, hopefully Porsha can see that, like, like, I'm here for her because, Porsha is my person. I'm like, I really don't understand women relationships or women friendships in that matter. I really don't understand this standard you try to put on yourself in the whole sense of trying to prove to your best friend that you grew up with that, hey, I'm your best friend. See me as that, please.
Yeah.
It's like, I really don't, as a mother, as a wife, as an adult, I just don't understand. It doesn't, when I see it on my TV, it doesn't translate to me. It sounds sad. You get what I'm saying? It just sounds weird.
Yeah, with Shamea, the way I see it, because I've seen it in, like, friendships when it comes to other people's friend groups.
Okay.
And it's like some people value longevity over the quality of the friendship.
Okay.
We've been friends for this many years, and because of that, this is my person. I'm going to hold him down, and we're going to be friends and all this type of stuff, regardless of how that person actually treats them today.
Yeah.
And I think that's where Shamea was. And with the after show and all this type of stuff, it sounds like Shamea is trying to move away from that, but she still misses Porsha.
Which is wild.
So Angela sits down with the ladies, and she's talking about how she finds it odd what happened at the event with Marcus at Kelly's event.
Okay.
So they actually brought Marcus, and before he even has a chance to talk to the ladies, Charles tells him that he needs to get up out of here. And Angela is trying to intercept and say, well, hey, he's got something to say. Like, it's okay. You need to trust me. Like, I've got this covered. And Charles ends up saying, get this mic pack off of me. I'm tired of playing these little games with these girls. So Marcus eventually says that Phaedra sent him, and she's the godfather of Atlanta. Marcus says that she dropped the envelope to him with some information, and they have a connect named Junebug.
Do you first or me first?
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
I don't believe Marcus.
No.
I don't believe Phaedra's the godfather of Atlanta. And Junebug is not a good enough name for me.
No, it's not.
His name, Terrence. What is the man's name? I need a government name. Junebug is not going to cut it for me. So I don't know who this man is. I don't really know why Angela entertained this man and gave him time and a platform. I wish she would have just ignored him, honestly. I don't think the juice was worth the squeeze with this one.
Well, here's the thing about it. You cannot ignore someone that you planted. Yeah, I said it. Y'all heard me. I think Angela planted the guy because it really makes no sense for him to base it. Dude, you know how I know that, like, I feel like that she planted him? Because he's talking as if he's on a reality TV show. He's on TV, caught as the one that was planted, and he looked at Phaedra. Well, Phaedra is the godfather of Atlanta. Who calls Phaedra that?
Yeah.
Like, well, I'm not in Atlanta. Maybe the people who are in Atlanta who watches our show, y'all call her the godfather of Atlanta. But I never know Phaedra to be the godfather of Atlanta. It just gave off as if she was trying to give a scene, as if she was trying to do an aha moment. How I figured that it was an aha moment, because for one, if this guy was talking so bad about your marriage and being disrespectful, and you over here talking about some, man, I'm happy Charles did not hear him because, you know, Charles can, you know, be Charles. Why would you bring him to the event? And then I already know Charles wasn't in on it, because while you're trying to create a scene, Angela, and things of that nature, Charles see the guy and he said, you got to go. And then all of a sudden you yelling at Charles, trust me, trust me, trust me, because he's messing up your scene. Because Charles don't watch Real Housewives of Atlanta. He don't know that, like, hey, I brought somebody here to basically, you know, land the plane of, you know what, I gagged you. And that's why I'm like, yeah, it just seemed all fake. And then you over here talk about Junebug, and I'm just like, yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, so Angela's asking Phaedra if she's jealous of her marriage, trying to tear her marriage apart. And Phaedra tells her she doesn't have a reason to do this. But she does point out that Angela's house is in foreclosure, and Angela said, well, I have to be watchful of the person who brings the information, because Phaedra told Angela the guy's name was Marcus. She knew where he worked. And to her, if you know all this about this stranger man, then you probably know him a little more than you're putting on. So Angela tells her with the foreclosure thing, that's not tea. I'll tell you anything that's going on with my life. And she calls Phaedra a horrible person. And she asks, does she let her kids visit their father?
Now, is this the same as talking about my kids?
No, it's not, but it's still along that line that people like to confuse. So I'm just kind of like, I don't even know how we got here.
Exactly. It gave off trying to have a scene, right? And to Blair's point earlier before, the minute you say your kids, I don't want to hear nothing else you have to say. Because my kids, the last time you saw my kid, he was making bell-bottom jeans. Yeah. He ain't got nothing to do with any of this drama. Apollo's not even on the show, so I don't even know how you even bring him up. It just came off as, Angela, you was trying too hard. And guess what? I gave Angela compliments, but I got to be honest. Also, this whole thing of, hey, listen, anything you want to know about my life, I'll tell you, except that sister relationship. Except that mother and daughter relationship and things of that nature. And when I say mother and daughter, I'm talking about her child and things of that nature. So that's why I'm like, okay, I guess, Angela, you know?
Yeah, so Kelly and Shamea think that Brit sent the guy to frame Phaedra.
Okay.
I guess. And then Shamea and Porsha's situation gets brought up, and Shamea is basically going in on Brit for messing up their friendship some more.
Yeah, you saw how they was like tapping each other elbows, Kelly and Shamea and things like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, all of y'all need to grow up, to be honest. But it just gave off a terrible ending to a okay season.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say great season. I actually thought the season was actually better than expected.
I was entertained.
Yeah, and for it to end this way and a whole bunch of arguments over something that's stupid and petty and things of that nature, it's just like y'all landed. Y'all should definitely end y'all seasons while y'all on vacation somewhere. Because it just came off as it was just a terrible landing.
So 5 months later, we see Porsha is filming in her marital home. And at this point, she's hoping the judge enforces the prenup. And as of present day, from all the stuff that's on the internet, it looks like it was enforced. So.
Yeah. Now, just to let y'all know, the last part of the episode where we see Porsha in her house, that did not have to be filmed, right? In my opinion, I think she wanted it to be filmed because remember how the season started? It started with showing Shamea's big luxury house and things like that. And now you go see, now they giving you like basically an ending credit scene trailer or whatever where she's running this big house. She still can't show the pictures on the wall, or maybe she don't want to. And then you see this big glorious house, and then she's going through her big closet and she basically like, you know what? You gonna remember the last thing you saw, and what you saw was me basically in this glorious luxury house, and I am a Real Housewife of Atlanta, basically, compared to how it started where it was showing Shamea's house. Yeah. So it just like, just little here and there, little tidbits and stuff.
Yeah, and that's all we got.
What was your thoughts overall? Was it okay season?
Okay season, flop finale.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing more of Angela, if they do bring it back for another season. And I really don't know what they need to do to fix it. Just the drama is just not real and it's not interesting. They need people with actual stories. I will say I've enjoyed Shamea's stories and what's been going on in her life and learning about that. But yeah, I feel like a lot of the people aren't open to being vulnerable and real. And maybe I'm double speaking in a way because I do see some of the real storylines within the season, but it's a lot of fakery as well. And I would love to sweep up some of the fakery and get it out the door. So Porsha, Brit.
Okay.
Phaedra.
Okay. You should throw Shamea there too. But my whole point is, I agree with you. Mm-hmm. Your show is only as good as your anchor, right? Meaning that if, let's say Shamea is open and Angela's open and Brit is open. Let's just and I really just threw Brit name in there. Let's take her name out. Let's say Drew is open, right? If at the end of the day, if Porsha's not open, then that's what everybody came there to see, right? And if the main character is not main characting and things of that nature, then the show is going to flop. The show is going to feel stale and things of that nature. I understand that her cousin passed away near the end of the filming of the show, so there wasn't a lot of scenes. You may have seen Porsha here and there, but Porsha was basically just a name to be said, but not really much of a person to be seen or learned about. You get what I'm saying? So that's why it's like you're only as good as your anchor. And as far as I know, Porsha can't anchor a show so far. Mm-hmm. But I need y'all to subscribe, like, share, comment. I honestly cannot wait for the reunion. You sure the reunion is next week?
As far as I know, yeah.
As far as you know, because I thought the reunion was this week. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, we see y'all then. Until next time.
Bye.